Okay, this is fun. All right. We're going to go with this. How do you lose an F-35? The U.S. military can't find a stealth jet after a mishap. Oh, this is going to get good because they're lying. They're lying in a big way. I'm going to read the article and then we're going to talk. How in the hell do you lose an F-35? South Carolina Republican Representative Nancy Mace wrote on Twitter Sunday night, adding, how is it that there is not a tracking device and we're asking the public to find a jet and turn it in? Now that I've got that out of the way, how in the hell do you lose an F-35? On Sunday afternoon, Joint Base Charleston, an air base in North Charleston, was working with Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort to locate an F-35 that was involved in a mishap. The pilot ejected safety from an F-35B Lightning II, but there were no immediate crash reports. We're working with Beaufort, South Carolina to locate an F-35 that was involved in a mishap this afternoon. The pilot ejected safely. If you have any information that may help our recovery teams locate the F-35, please call the Base Defense Operations Center at 843-963-3600. Seriously. The fact that a $140 million stealth fighter disappeared without any reports of a crash means it might have gone down in a sparsely populated area, the drive pointed out. The DoD is saying the F-35B was part of an autopilot was put on autopilot prior to the ejection. Military expert and former British military officer Frank Ledwidge told Newsweek that F-35 could likely travel hundreds of miles without its pilot. Historically, an aircraft without a pilot can fly a long way on autopilot, said Frederick Mertens, a military analyst with the Hague Security Center for Security Studies. The Washington Post quoted Jeremy Higgins, a spokesman at Joint Base Charleston, who said the F-35's transponder was not working for some reason that we haven't yet determined. Joe Biden's Pentagon can't find a freaking F-35, but don't worry, they know exactly where all our money in Ukraine is going. Have you guys checked in Ukraine? Okay, so okay, let's start off with one. They didn't say it in this, but one of the things I saw from a DoD guy was, well, it's a stealth jet, so we're having trouble finding it. No, it's not. It's not a stealth jet. You know how I know it's not a stealth jet? Because the pilot ejected. When you eject, there's a big giant hole in where the cockpit was at, you know, because the guy flew out, and as it turns out, radar waves, they bounce off of a guy who flies through the air. So they know where this plane was at when the guy ejected. It would immediately have appeared on radar. The fact that there's no transponder doesn't matter because, again, it would appear on radar. The idea that it would fly hundreds of miles before crashing is somewhat absurd to me. I don't believe that at all, because initially they said that the transponder went off, the pilot was having difficulty, so he ejected for some reason. Why? Why would you eject if the plane was still capable of flying? That makes no sense at all. So what? He's in the plane. He's like, oh no, my transponder's not working. Better bail out, leave it on autopilot for it to what? Fly for hours and hundreds of miles and potentially crash into someone's home or a business or somewhere. I don't believe it. And the idea that they can't find it, that's a joke. The guy ejected. There's a giant radar signature from the guy who ejected and the giant plane that has a huge hole in it. I'm fairly certain that the autopilot doesn't work that well when there's a tremendous amount of drag from the fact that there's no longer a canopy in the aircraft. They're lying, and this story is going to get fun as it changes.